Welcome to the House of Kings podcast, where we unlock the doors to your full potential. I'm your host, Rachel Cohen, guiding you on a journey to become the very best version of yourself in every aspect of life. In this transformation podcast, we delve deep into the realm of financial mastery, mental resilience, physical well-being, emotional intelligence, and spiritual growth. But there's one cornerstone of success that stands tall amidst all these pillars: multifamily real estate investing. Join us as we explore the lucrative world of multifamily real estate and discover the keys to financial freedom and abundance. Each episode will bring you expert interviews, insightful discussions, and practical strategies to help you navigate the complex landscape of multifamily real estate investing. Our aim is to empower you with the knowledge and tools to unlock the doors to your financial independence. So whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting your journey, this podcast is your compass to building wealth, creating a legacy, and reaching new heights. Welcome to the House of Kings podcast. It's time to reign over your life. Of Kings podcast, where we interview the most successful doctors all over the world, and we teach you the skill set, the mindset, and the ability to be extraordinary, just like the doctors that we interview. This is Dr. J.V. Patel. He's a real estate investor who raised $9.7 million in 3 days. His mission is to help 10,000 people make $1 million in real estate. He also has a real estate mastermind group and aims to help people to learn how to do these things. We personally aim, like I said, to create tools, mindset, and skill sets to conquer real estate. So with that said, Dr. Patel, would you please let me know a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes. So, first of all, hi everyone. My name is Dr. VJ Patel. So, just to give you my brief background, uh, I do have a medical degree, but I never practiced. Right out of my college, I got my first job, and the guy I used to work for, he pulled me from patient care to management, and from ever since, I never looked back. I have ran hospitals, nursing homes, community centers, senior livings, you name it, I've done it. So I did that for first initial part of my career, but then, in 2012, somebody introduced me to a real estate syndication, and long story short, I've been doing real estate from last 10 plus years. We have been buying multifamily RV parks, self-storage, mobile homes. We are also doing some creative work like hotel to multifamily conversion, hotel to senior living conversion. And personally, I'm working on my personal project, which is called experience-based resort. And those are the things I think we'll talk more in detail as we go on the show.
Wow, that's amazing. I just want to tell you that is absolutely amazing. That's a incredible story. So you were aiming to be a doctor and ended up in the real estate industry, which is tell me like more about that journey and what transformed in your head. How am I going to make money? Why is this the best way to do it? Please explain that a little further.
Sure. So for that, you have to go a little bit back to where I started. So basically, my first job, the guy pulled me into healthcare management. But what we were doing is, so my employer had a big money and a very good eye for business. So what he used to go is he goes out and buys all the rundown hospitals, nursing homes, and then it was my job, and there was a nurse, like director of nursing, her job as a team to figure it out, right? So as soon as we joined the team of management, after a month, he just showed up with a yellow folder and dropping on the table saying, "Hey, I bought this. Now you guys figure it out." So it was a rundown nursing home that he bought it for very cheap. It was out of compliance. There was a lot of complaints. The state was involved, management issues, building issues, all those things. Personally, so we divided the task. So nurse, the director of nursing's job was the compliance side. My job was on the business side of it. I was the guy was going in and fixing the numbers. How can I improve the bottom line? How can I increase the numbers? And how can I increase the profit? So that was my job. And nurse was making sure the compliance, the paperwork, all the follow-ups and everything else. So it took us almost 1.5 years to do that. But basically, what we did was we fixed up the property, we fixed up the management, we had to hire people, fire people, we fixed up the compliance, the complaints that we had, we addressed those things, we increased the occupancy, and eventually, increase more revenue, right? And when we flipped it in 1.5 years, my owner made almost 4 times the money that he bought it for. So that was my first-hand experience of people, what people call a value add in real estate. So from that point, we were just kept like he kept buying one after the other and giving us the job of going in and fixing it. And the first one took us 1.5 year, but after that, it just getting shorter and shorter to a point where we were just in and out in 6 months because we knew where to exactly look for, what exactly things to be done, and then you just go in, move quick, and then fix it and flip it, right? So I did that for 4 years for him, and it gave me a really good experience and confidence that if I can do it for him, I can do it for myself. The only component missing was the money part. Rest of the job, I was the one who was doing it anyway, right? And plus, personally, I wanted to move back to Dallas. So I took the call in 2012. I left my corporate job and with the vision that what I was doing in New York, I want to do the same. And I started doing it on a smaller scale, whatever money I had. And at the same time, somebody like invited me for a real estate seminar where he was doing a multifamily syndication, and I was just like sitting over there, and the guy was talking about, oh, how are we going to do the value add? We are going to buy a rundown apartment, and then we're going to fix it. We're going to fix the management. We'll fix the resident, and then we'll flip it. I was like, okay, that is exactly the same thing I've been already doing. So, like, I already have the skills and the experience that was needed for the game, right? Now I only have to needed to learn like the real estate, how the real estate market works. So I just gave him the $100,000 I had as a passive investor with the condition that he's going to mentor me throughout the deal, and he's going to like show me all ins and out what, like, the way he is doing it. And he had a good name in the market, so I knew he already had a couple of deals on the belt, so he was the right person. And then I just learned from him all the like tips, tricks, whatever you want to call it. And from that point, I moved my way up to a GP position where I started taking up a role of finding the deal and on the management side, because that's where my expertise is, how I can boost the revenue, either on the top side or bottom side. I can easily add 15% to 20%, because all money earned or money saved is money earned, right? So eventually, like if your profit is increasing, your numbers are better. So I did that for like a couple of projects, and then started taking up capital raising, because I learned very quickly that capital raising is the skill that everybody is struggling. At the same time, everybody needs it. Like, you can manage with other things, like the property management, like the contractor. You can hire a subcontractor who's going to fix it, the property, right? Or you can hire a third party management who's going to do the job, but nobody's going to do the raise for you. There's no service, or there's no person that can do that for you, or it's even illegal if you do that.
First of all, that is an amazing transformational story. Starting in the medical field, and then you go right into real estate, and you love it, obviously. So at this point, let's say, how many units do you own? What type of real estate do you own? Maybe let us know like where you are in your process for that portion of it.
Sure. So far, I have done 1,700 doors as a transaction, as far as the multifamily is concerned. But starting 2021, I see the downfall of multifamily. Like, I was throwing the offer, and I was losing it by $1 million, $2 million margin, and then I started losing offers by 5 million or even $10 million margin. Like what the guy was asking, what I was offering, and somebody else was buying was a huge difference. And those are the things I saw personally as a red flag that I just wanted to get out. Like, I saw the industry going in general. So I just started liquidating everything I had, because most of them were partnerships. So I started selling all my partnerships to my partners. And if I had like on my own, then, I can sell it, of course. So I did that. Like as of last year, I sold every single piece of what I had. And then I started looking into alternative asset class like RV park, self storage, mobile homes, and doing some creative work, because the problem with multifamily was like it was getting overcrowded. So there was a lot of competition. Margins were getting thinner, and there are a lot of moving factors that you cannot control, like interest rate and those kind of things. Like, I would not like a floating loan on a $40 million asset where $20 million is subject to interest of 7%, right?
But
So
sorry, don't mean to interrupt, but with that said, a lot of people did take on some crazy loans, like
exactly.
2% with floating, and it's coming due. A lot of it's coming
Yes.
due. Do you think that you might consider going back into multifamily? Because that's where I'm in. I'm in that space where I'm ready to go. So I want to know
Yes.
your opinion. Maybe we can work together that way.
Yeah. So basically, I'm on a sideline for now, but it's not that it's a hard no. I'm just watching the market. Like as far as my observation goes, like 20% of the deal is already under, but there is still 30% or even up to 40% that is going to go under in next 6 months because they are
I
just,
I agree.
yeah, they're just doing capital calls or they're just trying to salvage the deal if they can, but eventually I don't think so, like some of them will, but most of them will not. So what I'm preparing myself is I'm going to create a deal like real estate debt fund, and when those properties are discounted like 30 to 40%, that's where I want to go in and buy it.
Okay, so I'm gonna be the one that finds it for you then. Is that what you're saying?
Sure. Yeah, if
All
you
right.
find it.
I know, off track, but just curiosity, when you started, how did you find these deals? Like how did you get into like each deal? How did you nurture that? What was your, I guess, driving motivation? What did it take to get them? Number one. And did you have to have relationships to do it? What was the cause of relationships? What did it cause?
So number one thing I did was I started aligning myself with the brokers, dealers, and wholesalers. So there was a point I wake up and I have a 40 deal in my phone. So it was purely based on relationship, and people knew the kind of guy I am, and like I have the caliber to buy it or go through the commitment if I commit it, right? So those were the things that were standing that, people were just throwing me the offer left and right because if I say yes, that means we are buying it, right? But of course, like to get a yes from me, it's going to be hard call. But if I analyze good amount of deals, of course, I'm going to find something that I like, and then we'll go further in detail of those things.
Okay, okay. With that said, what about property management? How do you handle your property management for each of these deals? And would you suggest anything in particular when you do that?
So we did try to integrate as a vertical integration and in-house property management that we had. So basically, that company is owned by one of my buddies. So when I was selling my multifamily, I was ready to get out of everything. So I sold everything that I had as a partnership or my interest, but at the same time, I know where to go for if I need to. So I already have four friends who has vertically integrated their companies into multifamily. So they have management in place. They're already in house and.
Greetings, esteemed listeners. I apologize for the interruption, but there's an important message I must share with you. If you've been following this podcast, it signifies one of two things. One, you're aspiring to unlock your true potential in all areas of your life and achieve ultimate freedom physically, emotionally, spiritually, and of course financially. And or two, you are either a seasoned investor or an aspiring one who has wisely chosen real estate as your vehicle to create wealth and attain financial freedom. Our mission is to assist as many individuals as possible in achieving financial freedom through the power of multifamily real estate. I firmly believe networking is one of the most important tools that can unlock your potential in all areas, especially in the realm of finance and real estate. In the real world of real estate, your network is your net worth. If this resonates with you and aligns with your goals, I invite you to take action by clicking the link below in the description. This will take you to our website where you can further expand your investing portfolio and opportunities to invest with us, as well as to sign up to join us for an exclusive networking event in the South Florida area, the vibrant South Florida area. Remember, at House of Kings, we believe that
with a successful track record. So I would definitely try to partner up with them first, and then have to have my own as a transition.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, just a personal question. You had stated, and I believe you did, that you raised $9.7 million in 3 days. Can you give
Yes.
me any tips as a capital raiser to
Sure.
move forward and to do that myself?
Yeah, so capital raising again, it's a difficult job, but it's a necessity that everybody needs to learn. And keeping that in mind, I developed my mastermind that I started, coaching my own student how and take them personally to my own, like like automation or software that I have, and have them ready to do that on their own, right? But there are three simple principles that I follow and I try to teach in detail to my student. Is number one is people get to know you, number two is people get to like you, and number three is make them fan of you. Once that happens, then they will, like, you don't have to ask for it, they're ready to give you their money.
Agreed, agreed. Now, do you think that it may have helped you a little bit because of your journey, in terms of like getting to know more people, being out there? Your, I guess, your companions are your. I say your network is your net worth. Do you believe that that happened and that helped you?
Yes and no, because, like, see, I started at some point as a zero too, right? So when you are zero, your network is zero, your net worth is zero. So
That's for sure.
being
Yes.
said, like, you have to grow out of it, right? So it's a process. As I said, like, nobody knows you overnight. Like, it's a process, and that is the coaching I'm providing. Is like, people get to know you, like you, and make a fan of you. So just a simple example, Rachel, we didn't know like each other out like before a couple of weeks, right? But you, like, once we talked first time, then you knew that, okay, this guy existed in this world. Otherwise, I could have like lived and died and you would not even know, right? So same thing, like, you have to, like, make your presence around your social media and everywhere, that the way I do, to make them feel that I exist. And number two is, okay, like, I share all the knowledge I have on social media, right? Articles, knowledge, newsletters, or even my thoughts on market, like, the multifamily that I was talking, like, whatever I feel, I talk about it. So then people know that, okay, like, I know something. It doesn't have to be expert, but I know at least what I'm doing. And then, like, I can take them to my projects, whatever I'm doing at that time, and show them that, okay, this is what we are doing. So right now we are converting a Marriott into a senior living in Arizona. So if you are interested, I'll just take you over there, show you firsthand, okay, like, this is what it's looked like. And, like, the $10 million we can make into $40 million, and you can visualize that. It's not just on paper that, oh, like, I'm just talking the numbers. I can show you literally how I did it or how I'm doing it. And from that point, like, the question is, do you want to invest?
Absolutely. Now I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I don't mean to, but I'm going to because I get your whole motion, your whole desires to help people. I'm new. The reason that I started this podcast was because back in '06 I was paralyzed. And I was told I would never walk again. And I want to interview doctors and get them into the real estate industry. With that said, obviously being new, I would love to come to your REI mentoring group. I obviously don't have extra funds right now, but I would love to join you and learn more, if that's at all possible. I know I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but
Are you talking about the mastermind, or are you talking
yeah,
about the
the
IR summit?
mastermind, because I believe that you have what it takes to show me, to be a better person, and your network is your net worth. So I am calling to action, I guess, in my own way, asking. And then, side note, don't answer now. That was just me throwing it out there, and I really want to get to know you better as well.
Yes.
And I want you to tell me, what do you think the false belief that most beginners have when what holds them back from investing in multifamily, or whatever it is they want to invest in? What do you think holds them back?
So lack of knowledge, that is the number one thing that people will be ignorant, like, about, like, what can be the possible scenario, right? So, like, people think that if somebody's doctor or physician, they're making killing money, they're happy, they're having the superest life they can have, but that's not the reality. 50% of physicians are ready to quit if I give them an offer of 20,000 and sit home, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's what we are teaching them, is like, okay, like, you can do what you like without expecting the money in return, because you have $20,000 coming from the investment from real estate. So now I have the freedom of what, like, I can do what I like. So what you mentioned about, paralysis, or, some serious medical condition. So, like, there are times that people don't have insurance, right? But we know that, okay, these people needs that attention or medical care regardless of their insurance status, right? So if I don't have the pressure of getting the money in return, I'm just going to do the best care that I can, and make you the best person I can, because that's what I'm good for. And I'm not worried about money because I'm getting it from anywhere.
I agree 100%. And I got lucky with the doctors that I met, and they helped me, I guess what you call build my foundation, physical foundation, mental foundation, every foundation possible. And I now want to build their financial freedom back. So
Exactly.
I'm right there with you. Um, and with that said, if you went back and you started your career over, would you have gone into the field of medicine, or would you have done a different way? Or what would you change, I guess, in your current career path?
So, like, see, the degree was something I wanted to do it, but like from inside, I was always like, I wanted to do something management. You know, like from inside, I know that I've always wanted to be in a leadership position. Like whether if I can be a priest, I would, but I always wanted to be on a leadership position where I get to take a stage and share or help individuals in whatever caliber I can. And before I can do that, I just want to equip myself with the knowledge and skills to require to do that. So I think that's all. Like regardless of where will I go or what will I do, I would do that.
Wow, that's incredible, by the way. I want to let you know you are an incredible person. You've made yourself known. And obviously that's why I found you. We found me. Is we want to be out there and meeting new people all the time. And that's the idea of a relationship, and network meets net worth. With that said, I would love it if anybody listening got any information that they liked or can use, or it helps them, that they would share this podcast with their friends, their family, and tell them, we're here, we're waiting, we want to help you invest, we want to help your lives be better. And is there anything you want to add to that,
Yeah.
Dr. Patel?
So the basic myth is like you don't require a big check to invest, or you don't have to wait. Oh, when I get 100,000, I want to invest. So the way we created our fund, we can take as little as $25,000, right? And even like what you were mentioning about the tokenization, like I have not gone into detail, but of course I know what's going on when it comes to tokenization of real estate. And if you implement it right, you can literally do it in like very smaller scale, like buying stocks, like $100, $200, $500. But then the scale and everything else is different, and the security is different. But even like not doing that, like 25,000 is the minimum entry that you can start investing and start building the future, because the key is to start early. You don't want to wait, because time is the game. Even if you have small money, or if you can pull somewhere for $25,000, I would say start now than wait 5 years, because that's the game you are playing, is the time game. Real estate is a time game. If you are starting now, in 5 years, that $25,000 is going to be $75,000 or $100,000. But if you start 5 years down, that's where you're starting. So from that point, it's going to take you 5 years to do that. There's no magic. Like real estate is not a asset which is going to give you, like you wake up tomorrow and you have $100,000. It's not that asset class. Asset, like this is a secured asset class which grows over the period of time. So you have to give that time to hedge against the market and get that appraisal higher value.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for mentioning my tokenization opportunity for real estate, because I haven't even mentioned that at all. So obviously you did your research. I appreciate that. And anybody that is interested in tokenization and real estate, please contact me. But this is more based on what I wanted to learn from you, and bring your knowledge out. And I really appreciate your time. So with that said, I'm going to stop the recording. And
We just want to add the REI Summit just for like
Oh
quick
yeah,
second. Uh,
absolutely, please.
So we are hosting a REI Summit on April 20, 19, 20, and 21 this year. It is a virtual summit where we are going to have industry leaders as a speaker for multifamily self-storage. So like right now, a lot of noise about multifamily, right? But multifamily is not the only asset that's going to give you the returns you want. There are better asset class if you get it right. with a very low overhead. Like, you can buy RV park for $3 million instead of $30 million. So the numbers makes a huge difference, because the loan of $20 million at 7% and a loan of a $2 million at 7% is a huge difference, like a huge difference and a totally different game. So your numbers will be a lot better. So the goal is to educate people about different asset class, so that they can increase their horizon and pick and choose what they want. Like the minimum benchmark that I try to deliver is 20% return, 2x equity multiplier, and 6 to 8% cash flow, right? So keeping that in mind, I always try to find some other asset class which can deliver the same thing without having more risk, but we can what you call divide the risk by investing into multiple properties.
Yeah, thank you for bringing the REI summit up. I actually want to go. I plan to go. I want to learn. I'm on the learning curve of everything. I want to know what's out there. I'm always wanting to learn and bring more knowledge to me. So
And
thank
we are
you.
giving out like early discount. So until January 31st, it's going to be like only 297, but after that it's going to be 497.
Okay. And we will spread the word. We'll put it out there and let people know. And I want to thank you for your time today. I
Sure.
really, I
Yeah.
know you're a busy man, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the House of Kings podcast. We hope you found the information and insight shared today valuable in the journey towards financial independence through multifamily investing. Remember, success in this field requires continuous learning and implementation. So keep seeking knowledge, connecting with industry experts, taking action towards your goals. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback is greatly appreciated and helps us reach more people who can benefit from our content. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll dive deeper into the world of multifamily real estate investing, bringing you more inspiration and practical strategies to evaluate your financial journey. Thank you for listening to the House of Kings podcast. Remember, you have the power to reign over your life and create the future you desire. Until next time, keep building your kingdom of success.